Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. In today's video, we're going to talk about reality maps. When we perform ceremonial magic, we tend to work with different systems, and they're actually based upon reality maps. A map is just a tool to get you to the place that you want to go, but they're not always literal. These are metaphorical, smaller scale diagrams that show you the way to get to your destination. Many ancient systems use reality maps to convey ideas about how reality works and how we are able to find our way back to divinity or back to source. And we all have our own inner reality maps now, but we may not be conscious of them yet. The more that we become conscious of our reality maps, the more we can flesh them out, and then the more we can act in alignment to our view of reality. When we act in alignment with our view of reality, then we are more likely to get what we want out of life. We feel more fulfilled. The ancients have created several reality maps, and this was very important to the expansion and evolution of civilization. They knew that there was power in understanding the self and understanding the universe. Our subconscious mind is very powerful, and it's not easily programmed with words. It is symbolism, geometry, feelings, and subtle energy that programs the subconscious mind the easiest. Observing reality maps is fantastic for understanding the universe and self. And this is because these images are suggesting things to us that we already know intuitively. When you base your view of the world and your approach to the world off of a reality map, then you are acting as the magician. You are a spiritual scientist or an alchemist. You are observing the world through this hypothesis, interacting with the world based off of it, collecting data, gaining knowledge, and ultimately understanding and wisdom. This process changes you. Don't limit yourself to just one reality map. Learn as much as you can about several that interest you. When you do this, you will come to your own understanding of yourself and life, and then you will see the interconnectedness of all the reality maps. Let's go through a few of these reality maps that are worth studying. We have the Pic Universe, which is not depicting Earth at the center of the solar system. This actually represents something else. This is a map of the soul through the celestial spheres, or the planetary spheres. It's the journey of ascension. Starting at Earth in the middle, this represents the physical body. And then you have the four elements here as well: earth, air, water, and fire. This is because the first step in mastering self is working with and balancing the four elements, or the four aspects of consciousness. These are the four parts of you and your internal world. Moving out from Earth, we have the layers of the aura, or layers of the soul, starting with the moon. This is psychic energy and intuition. The next layer is Mercury, the intellect, and then Venus, the love aspect. Then we have the sun, and this is the link to the divine, illumination, and care. The next layer is Mars, and this is the protective and willful energy. Moving on to Jupiter, we have the expansive energy. The next layer is Saturn, which holds a strong power and protection. These planetary energies represent a specific order and a path to reuniting with divinity. After these planetary energies are mastered, then we move on to the zodiac, and then the fixed stars, and then reaching the Empyrean, which means the mind of God. The next reality map that we're going to talk about is from the tradition of Kabbalah. This is the Tree of Life. This reality map is very similar to the last one just described. This is depicting the climb back up to divinity, and this also shows how divinity is manifesting into the physical. I think the Tree of Life is the most accurate or the most powerful of all the reality maps, because this is the most common. When everyone is using the same reality map to guide them, then that gives this map a lot of power. This is because all there is consciousness. The creator is consciousness, and it threw itself into the creation to live as it. And when the whole collective is using one thing to guide their divine consciousness, then that gives this thing an immense amount of power. It becomes the truth. The tree of life is what the story of tarot is modeled after. It's what this Freemasonic tracing board is modeled after. It is what the streets in DC are modeled after. Most of the collective doesn't know what this is, or that this even governs our world today. But I would say that the entire occult world knows what this is and uses it. And because of that, it's a universal reality map that governs this world. It is only when you gain this knowledge of self and knowledge of the universe are you able to have personal power by using this tree. This is when you aren't governed by the outside forces anymore. You realize that you can govern yourself. This is self-sovereignty. It's easy to say these things and talk like you're the creator of your reality and to get into this law of attraction stuff, but it's another thing to live it and experience it. Living it and experiencing it is what doing this work is all about. So I was saying how this tree of life is so similar to the Ptolemaic universe. We begin in the 3D physical reality. This is the fruit of the tree of life, and this is called Malkuth. This is the bottom sphere on the tree. We decide that there's more than just the physical reality, and we start our journey to know ourselves. This is moving into Yesod, which means the foundation. This is represented by the moon, psychic energy. This is the astral and is the foundation to the physical. Then moving from there to Had, this orange sphere, which is Mercury, and then over to Netzach, the green sphere. This is Venus. And then we move up to the sun in the chest. This is the care aspect, or the life force, the link to divinity. And then over to Gebra, which is Mars energy, vitality, willpower, and a bit of control and restriction and protection. Moving over to Chesed, the Jupiter energy. This is the blue sphere. This is expansion, success, gaining. And then we cross the abyss, which is knowledge, or Da'ath. This is knowledge of self. And we end up in this black sphere called Binah. And this means understanding. This is Saturn, our karma, time, protection, death. This can also represent the ego death from crossing the abyss of knowledge. The old self dies off here. We move from there to Hakma, which means wisdom. And this is the wheel of the zodiac. And then finally you reach Kether, which is the divinity. This is represented by the fixed stars. And then you have reached the Empyrean, or the mind of God. And that is the reality map known as the Tree of Life. The next reality map that we're going to talk about is Tarot, the map of the soul and the journey. This reality map is a little bit different because this is broken down into cards with illustrations. We have a major arcana and minor arcana, and this means big story and little story. The major arcana are the cards numbered from 0 to 21, and this tells a story of the journey of consciousness, the journey to knowing oneself. Each card depicts different steps on that journey, which I won't go into too much detail here on that. But we start with 0, which is no knowledge of self. This is the Fool card. Each step of the way, we are learning how to use our creative power, our divine consciousness, until we reach the World card, which is the last card. When we examine the minor arcana, we find that this is about the 4 elements and mastering those. We have swords, cups, wands, and pentacles. These are the 4 elements. Remember, the first step in Magick is to master the 4 elements. Mastering the mental body, the thoughts that you think and how they affect you. The emotional body, the relationships that you have and the happiness that you feel. The spiritual body, the drive and the desire that you have, your connection to source. And then your physical body, the food that you eat, how you take care of yourself. Are you doing what you love in work? Are you making enough money? These are 4 basic things that you need to balance and take control of within your own consciousness before diving into the mastery of the planetary energies. Once you dive into these planetary energies, You are affecting the outside world and building up these outer layers of your aura. Then moving on to the zodiac, you start to affect the collective. And then moving on to the fixed stars when you reach this world card, and this represents the mind of God. The next reality map is going to be astrology or astrotheology in the zodiac. This is the map and journey of the sun, or the journey of consciousness, and this is an interesting reality map because this is included within the others. I consider this a reality map because I want you to think about how the sun moves through the signs the same way that you move through life. This is a life cycle, or a cycle of consciousness. The sun wears each of these zodiac signs like a set of clothes, embodying 12 aspects of self. These are big deal energies, and we contain these parts within us. Our consciousness is the sun of our body. The sun gives life to earth. The consciousness gives life to the body. Our consciousness has a returning point, a birth point, just like the sun in spring. The light dawns on us, and we use this new insight to grow something new. The sun reaches its fullness in the middle of summer, in Leo, as we reach our fullness in an idea or understanding. We may have reached our peak in a job or in a marriage, or a peak in understanding a concept. The sun crosses into the southern hemisphere as the leaves fall off the trees, crops die, and everything gets dark. We have points where our consciousness begins to rest. We can't stay in full force all the time. We have a peak and then a rest. When understanding and growth slows, we go through this autumn period. Paradigms get shattered, and what we thought was true changes, and things were revealed to not be what we thought they were. The sun reaches its lowest point at the winter solstice and starts to come back up. We face our darkness and take calculated steps to change and rise above. Soon, we learn our lessons and reach a new understanding, as the sun is reborn in the spring. This is a powerful allegory of birth, order, and change. The infinite cycle of life and of God. God is an acronym, G-O-D. Generate, order, and destruction. And the cycle repeats. This is a refining process to become better and better. So I challenge you to create your own reality map of how you feel this universe works and how you work as a microcosm of it. You can take all this information and make your own based off of your understanding that you have at this time. This will help you see where you are now and give you direction for how you want to approach the world. Years later, when you look back at this reality map that you've made, you will find that you have evolved and learned more about yourself and the universe. The map that you create now could feel a bit outdated in the future, and this is if you're putting in the work to get to know yourself and you're changing and learning. This is an exercise intended to give yourself direction and to also help you share your reality with others and to shine your light out to others. It is through each of us sharing our wisdom, taking criticism, and embracing each other's different perspectives that we really learn and grow. If you're interested in working with me, I do offer one-on-one coaching for beginning ceremonial magic. My program is about balancing and working with the 4 elements, and I think this is going to be very beneficial for you. Just send me an email about my 4 Corners program. My email is in the description of this video. And if you'd like a tarot reading done by me, you can also send me an email. Just let me know if you have a question and that you want a reading. You pay through Venmo, and I make a video reading just for you. And I hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.